Welcome into No Huddle tonight, guys and ladies, if you're there. It's Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time, and tonight we're going to tighten it up a little bit. We're not going to be chasing every little transaction that went on in the last week across the league. We're not pretending every practice squad signing is breaking news or earthquaking news. Tonight we're hitting the stories that actually kind of matter. NFL refs got a 7-year deal. The full schedule release drops next Thursday. Rookie minicamps are opening, finishing up, and already creating overreactions from some fans and some fan bases, I'm sure. And we've got a few player headlines that actually deserve some airtime tonight. So tonight, I want the whole NFL in here. Raiders fans, Patriots fans, Steelers fans, Cowboys, Chiefs, Jets, Bears, Eagles. I don't care what team you rep, what logo you wear. Hopefully you guys are all here tonight. So call in, rep your team, bring your take. The lines are not open just yet. This is no huddle, no timeouts, no excuses. So let's go. What is going on, everybody? Tonight we're back. We're live. Back live and ready to roll. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to hit some of the news that's going on so far in the last week, from last Friday to today. There's been some good news. So we're going to start this off right away, but the phone lines will be open, but not just yet. Once I get through the news clips and everything and kind of like the major hits of what's going on this week in the NFL, then we'll get into opening up the phone lines, and hopefully we'll get some non-Raider fans to call in. And the Raider fans can call in tomorrow night, but you can still call in tonight. But Saturday night is the big night for Raider fans to call in when Jason and I are on together doing the Raider Nation voices. So basically, here's the rules with the phones, as everybody always knows, hopefully. Keep it football-related. No doxing anybody. Keep calls around 2 minutes if you can. Just state your name, what team you rep, and then we'll go from there. And tonight, the first question, well, not so much the first question, but the first topic is, I think, probably one of the biggest offseason topics. We talked about this a few weeks ago, the NFL refs. So NFL refs and the NFL finally agreed to a deal, okay? So I think this is probably the biggest story in the NFL right now, that this is now finally solidified, the referee situation. So the biggest news out of this, we don't have to deal with refs in 2026. Right? So the NFL and the NFL's Referee Association, they reached a new 7-year collective bargaining agreement that runs through the 2032 season. What that does for them, actually, it gives them a pretty good size raise. We don't know the full parameters of what the deal is, but there is supposedly a significant raise Believe they were getting about 330,000 a season right now. It's going to jump up to like about 350 something. It's almost like a $35,000 raise per year for these refs. So that's a big thing for them. But it's also a lot more accountability. There's going to be more training involved. Um, you know, there's so much to it. So, you know, you think the fans complain now during NFL games? If we had replacement refs in 2026, it would be even more out of control. If everybody remembers the last time the refs were locked out because of contract disagreements or contract negotiations, 2012, right? And in 2012, there was one significant game that played a big part in all that. It goes back to September 21st in 2012. It was a Monday night game between the Packers and the Seahawks. Seattle ended up beating Green Bay 14-12 after a final, what they now call the Hail Mary, but it was a Hail Mary pass from Russell Wilson to Golden Tate. The Packers safety, M.D. Jennings, appeared to intercept the ball while Tate was fighting for the ball. The replacement officials actually ruled it a simultaneous catch, which then goes to the offense. So Seattle got the touchdown. 2 days after the Hail Mary, on September 26th, 2012, the NFL and the NFL Referees Association reached an agreement because there was so much backlash from that play. All right. So that's what you didn't want to have. You don't want to have a game decided by that. This was, I think, before they started doing these reviews where it would go to the NFL office and they would get involved. So it was pretty much done on the field. And unfortunately, that changed the outcome of that game, because the more they looked into it, they realized that it should have actually been pass interference on the offense on Tate, but it wasn't looked at that way. So the other one thing that they're doing with this too is they're also going to get a pay increase for the Super Bowl pay rate. So, and there's going to be more, It's going to be more regulation on what refs get the coach and get the ref in the playoffs too. So it's going to be competition basically. So the best squads will get picked. Just point blank, if your squad's not good, you're not getting anywhere near the playoffs. If you got one of the top squads, in your officiating crew, then you're going to get to the Super Bowl and you're going to get more money. It's sort of like a reward, not only just the reward of being the referees in the Super Bowl, but also getting paid a little bit more for being in the Super Bowl. Because don't forget, that's one game that decides who overall is the best team in the league. If you don't think there's pressure on refs, there's a lot of pressure on NFL refs. So they take a lot of bad raps, unfortunately. So the question is, does this make the officiating better? Because there'll be more training involved. There'll be more on-site training. There'll be more during the off season, there'll be more training for these refs too. Because basically it's going to be their full-time job. I remember years ago, the refs used to be like, a lot of them were like doctors, lawyers, dentists, shit like that. So they would referee on the weekends for NFL games, but during the offseason, they go back to their regular practice or whatever it was that they did. So a lot of these guys, they weren't getting paid enough to officiate the games and consider it their full-time job. So now it kind of alleviates that. So now during the offseason, they can spend more time training these guys and keeping their requirements up so that the players and the fans get the best officiating crew every single week. The game's evolving. The players are getting faster. They're getting bigger. Plays happen so much faster now in the NFL than they used to be. So as the rules change, the referees have to keep up with this stuff too. So there's a lot of training that goes into it. So it's only going to be a better product, I think, as far as the officiating. You're always going to have that human element in it until robots and AI take over everything at some point, right? But real quick, let's check in with the chat. Let's see who's here with us tonight. We've got Robert Pena's in the house. Silver Smoke is here. What's going on? My guy Dave is here. AO's in the house. Willie Wayne and Daniel Berry's here. What's going on, gentlemen? How you all doing? I appreciate everybody being in here tonight. So yeah, we're with the whole officiating thing, um, I think it's a big deal that they got this settled now, rather than going into uh, replacement refs in the NFL in the regular season, because that's the last thing you want. Preseason, if it's so be it that they had to have replacement refs during the preseason, I can live with that a little bit. But man, by the regular season, you have to have the regular refs back. So now we don't have to worry about that. There's no BS. Nobody's going to be screaming about refs this, refs that, because they're replacements. Everybody's still going to scream at the refs. You know that. It was the one thing that the NFL had to clean up this offseason, from the NFL side of it, from the organization itself. And they took care of it, thank God. They finally reached that agreement today. So that's done and over with. I'm so glad, because think about it. If we didn't get this settled, or if they didn't get this settled beforehand, week one would have been like one hell of an experiment as to how things were going to go for the whole season. Because the NFL head office would have been involved in a lot of these decisions. It would have been a cluster. It would have been a wicked cluster, especially with the amount of new head coaches, the influx of new rookies coming into the league. This is not what you want. So, this increased, stability now. It's the part that fans care about, because they want to make sure the game's called down the line. We're tired of seeing the Chiefs getting all the great calls, right, guys? For all my Raider fans in the chat, right? So, what? Sorry, I thought the wife was talking to me there for a minute. Sorry, guys. So, with that being said, we're past that now. So, that's been taken care of. So, now we're going to roll into basically what's going to happen this coming week is the NFL schedule release. So, on Thursday on Thursday at 9:00 p.m., 8:00 p.m. Eastern time is when the actual full schedule is going to be released. Now, on Wednesday at 9 in the morning on NFL Network on Good Morning Football, they're going to release all the international games. So whether we're going to be in one or not, no one knows. I mean, there's been speculation out there that we might be involved in one, we might not. So we'll find out as early as Wednesday morning, unless something gets leaked by Tuesday night. Who knows? I will not be live. I don't know of anybody going live for the international one. It's kind of, 9 games, and then it's over. But Thursday night, I will be live on Coast to Coast or Raider Connection. We don't know which one's it's probably going to be Coast to Coast, with myself, Nate, LV Raider 10, and Cheetah Linus. Jay may or may not make it. I think he's going to a Dodgers baseball game. So we will be on live at 8:00 Eastern time p.m. for the schedule release. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Let's see who else just popped in here. We got Alex in the house. What's up, Alex? Hobo's here. What's up, Hobo? Yeah, so basically the big deal with the schedule for me for this show is next Friday I want to go through the schedule for all the teams. And what we kind of want to do is I want to look at what looks like the worst game of the season matchup-wise, what looks to be the one of the top games of the season. Like, what does everybody feel like, who's got the better schedule, who's got the easiest, who's got the hardest. We're going to look at the games that we really think are going to be good from week to week, when they try and come up with what do we think is going to be the overall best game. So next Friday night show is going to be a lot of schedule talk, unless there's major other news that happens between today and next Friday. But next Friday will be like heavy schedule talk for sure. It's only fitting that we cover the entire schedule as best we can, on this show here, because of the fact that it's an NFL-based show. Now, as far as obviously we can't do a full schedule breakdown tonight. I mean, we won't know that till Wednesday, Thursday. All right, so let me ask you guys this in the chat. When the schedule first drops, what do you look at first? Like, do you look at primetime games first for your respective teams? Do you look at, the time frame on Saturdays and Sundays? Do you have a lot of early games? Do you have a lot of late games? Do you have international games? Everybody already knows who we're playing, what each team's playing home and away for 2026. That's already been decided. Now it's just a matter of when. Is your team playing? Say your team's the Miami Dolphins. Are you having to go to Green Bay in December? I don't know if you're playing Green Bay, but I'm just saying. Are you going to an extremely cold weather stadium when you're from like Miami or you're from Vegas, and all of a sudden you're gonna New England? Perfect example. The Raiders are coming in to play New England. So is that game going to be in December? Is it going to be one of the only 2 weeks in January where there's games? We're going to be out there freezing our butts off at the tailgate, the pregame party, and in the stands. So it's like, what do you guys look for when you look at the schedule when it's finally released? What is it that kind of draws your attention? Like, what do you usually pinpoint? So just put it in the chat. I just want to see what you guys tend to think here. Let's see. Me, I just look at the overall schedule and count the possible wins and losses. True. I get a lot of people do that. You can kind of do it now when you see who we're playing against, but the time and the time of the games, meaning the season, the physical time of the game, like is a lot of primetime games, is it a lot of early games? See, for anybody that's on the West Coast teams having to travel across the East Coast, those 1 o'clock games are tough because you're still on West Coast time. Those 1 o'clock games at 10:30 in the morning. So your body's still thinking it's 10:30 in the morning, but it's really 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Let's see. The league would make us play the Seahawks every week if they could. Yeah. I don't mind the 1 o'clock games, to be honest with you. But those are very far and few between for the Raiders, unless they're playing an East Coast team. But if they're playing an East Coast team, there's a good chance I may or may not be at that game, depending on where it is on the coast. I like the 1 o'clock games because when I go for the watch parties with the chapter, we're out of there by like 4, a little after 4 o'clock. We're home by 5. So I can still catch majority of the other games later on that, once we get home. I'm going to miss maybe the first quarter, but I'll be listening to it on my phone on the way back from the watch party, because it's about a little over an hour drive from the house to there. Those 4 o'clock games, those are a pain though, because by the time we get out of there, it's already well after 7, and later in the season, it's already pitch black out. We're not getting home till after 8 o'clock or something. So I'm getting home just in time to watch the Sunday night game too. So now the East Coast is the biggest time zone. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. What's up, Jason? Recently, I looked to see when we rent the U-Haul and watch more college football. What's up, Tanner Jack? Welcome in, brother. Welcome in. Let's see. What's up, Becky? Velvet? How you doing? We look for the date of whatever away games. And see, and I kind of do that now a little bit more than I have in the past, because when I see the away games, if there's anything close by to me, like the Jets game, we're definitely planning on going to the Jets game. I'm just waiting to see when it falls. If both the Jets and the Patriots games are towards the end of the season, it's going to kind of suck because we're going to be outside twice for tailgates, sitting in the stands twice. It's going to be cold. It's going to be shitty, so that's kind of a pain when it comes to that. And I guess the other thing, too, is the other thing you look at for the schedules is, one of the things I look at first, I look for the bye weeks, too. I want to see where our bye week falls, because if our bye week is early in the season, I don't like that. I like the bye week to fall anywhere from mid-season back a little bit. And I know it changes from year to year, and the teams have a big say on when they want their bye week. It's not like the NFL just says, well, you're taking your bye week this week. The teams can actually decide when they want to take their bye week. I always thought that, especially if you're a successful team, you want to take that bye week a little bit later in the season so you can get that little bit of a breather and give that final push for the end of the season to increase your playoff seeding, rather than have a bye week. If you have a bye week by week 6 or 7, That's a long haul from then to the end of the season. That is an extremely long stretch. So bye weeks, I think, are a big deal too. Yeah, see. Yeah, and that's just me too. I don't like the early bye weeks. Like if the Raiders have an early bye week, I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I like the bye weeks later in the season. Like from week 10, or actually probably like week 12 on. That's kind of where I fall. Maybe week 11 on. Yeah, and the other thing too is because a lot of players end up getting hurt later in the season, and if you had your bye week earlier, you lose that whole extra, that 2 weeks off and no games is 2 full weeks where you have, that player can rest up and hopefully be better. Jeff for commissioner, no, thank you. I'll take the money, but I don't want I don't want the headache of running this whole damn league. And then the other thing too is the short weeks. Like, how many short weeks does your team have? By short weeks, meaning they play on Sunday, but now they got to play Thursday. Or how long do they have these extra lengthy weeks where they might play on a Thursday night, but their next game isn't until the Sunday night game, or even the Monday night game the following week? That's a long stretch. And say the team they're playing against played on Sunday night the week before, and now all of a sudden they get the Monday night game, so they have less time to prep. Where the other team played on Thursday, they've already got a almost 3 day advantage over the team that hasn't even played yet. And then they still got to play another game on top of that eventually. What's up, Six Rings? Where do you beat Raiders on all-time franchise list? Where do you? I don't understand the question. I don't get it. That's okay. Oh, where do you put Raiders on the all-time franchise list? If you would have asked me that about 30 years ago, I'd probably say easily in the top 5. But now we're middle of the pack at this point, based on past history, not so much the recent history. Because let's face it, we were the team in the 70s, the early 80s, and then after that, we kind of fizzled out for a while. Had a short little run in the 99 to like 2003, and then that all went to crap. And we just haven't had that much success in that time frame. So, you know how it goes. Teams hit that phase. Look at the Chiefs. How many years were the Chiefs just totally irrelevant? A really long time. Look how many years they went from their first Super Bowl to the one that the first one they won in this current regime. That's a long stretch. Let's see. They should just make everyone's buy at the halfway point. Well, then that means the whole league's shutting down, and the TV stations are not going to like that. They're losing money. That's why they spread them out. I remember when they tried doing the 2 bye weeks in the season. That was a goddamn disaster. I hated that, and I don't think the teams, all the players, like that. It seemed like a great idea, but to do 2 bye weeks in a season, that was rough. The schedule really got kind of screwed up that season. I don't know if they did it for more than one season. Maybe it was a couple seasons they tried it, but let's see. You saw Stanley Morgan play. I was about, yeah, I did. Yep, I saw Grogan play. All those guys from back then. Actually, I played for a semi-pro team that Steve Grogan was part owner, and one of the coaches was Mosiasa Tupu. I don't know if anybody remembers him. Let's see. I think what was I did? Week 9 is AFC bye week. Week 10 NFC bye week. Done in 2 weeks. If you do it that way, if you split it, one conference gets the entire week off, and then the other, I don't mind that idea. But saying there's no games at all, like the whole league shuts down for a week, that wouldn't be good. First of all, the teams would lose money. NFL TV contracts would be, well, the TV stations, the news, the sports stations, they'd go crazy. No football, that's big money. There's so much money in the NFL, and 1 week with no football would be, I think, could easily be a disaster. I'm not with the Raiders for the victories. I'm with them for the. You're an idiot. Perhaps the players should get free subs to 401 rated Jeffrey Square. What do you mean free subs? It's to subscribe to my channel. It's free. So, and on top of that, thank you, Hobo, for reminding me. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that. Hit the subscribe. Wow. Hit the notifications. Ring that bell. So the bell is that little thing around it, and give the thumbs up for this show tonight. I really appreciate that. So we got some. I got some good information. Good surprise for you guys a little bit later on. So let's move on from the schedule. So again, next Friday we'll do best and worst games on the schedule. We'll kind of play around with it. I'll try and come up with some graphics I can put up on the screen. So, all right, a couple more news things here, and then we're going to move on and open up the phone lines, but not yet. So the phone lines are not open just yet. I'm surprised nobody's tried calling already. So because it won't ring. So you can call, you're not going to get through. So rookie mini camps, the hype, the hope, the hype, the overreactions and such. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go through what teams have already had their camps and what teams are in the middle of their mini camps because they're going on right now, and then what teams are going to finish up, start this weekend and then finish up in the next few days. So rookie camp number one, these teams have already finished their mini camps with their rookies. So these teams here are already done. So it's the Ravens, Titans, Packers, Eagles, Seahawks. They were May 1st to May 2nd. The Chiefs, Raiders, and Cowboys were May 1st to the 3rd. So those guys, they're already done with their mini camp. So now basically, unless they do another set of OTAs before the actual training camp starts in July, that's pretty much all you're going to hear from teams as far as how the players are looking in these mini camps and such. So that's why we're going to hit this lull now. Once we get past the schedule reveal next week, the NFL is going to slow right down. So you're going to see a lot of content creators trying to do other things to kind of stay on live shows, but still carry on and do something else other than, football related in some cases. Like Afakasi, during the offseason, he does a lot of tech mobile. So if you don't follow Afakasi Raider, follow him and I usually play too. So I usually get into the mix. And so does Nate from LB Rated 10. And so does Critique Raider, or Raider Critique. I think on 6 plays, or he just watches. I don't know if he plays. I'm not sure. But there's a few of us that have gone on and played Tech Mobile with them. It's a lot of fun. Let's see. I don't know why I keep looking because I know it's Hobo. Yeah, Hobo's always typing. What's up, Jay Shamasha? What's up? What's up? Yeah, you know what? And real quick, shout out to Hobo. He told me this the other day. 19 years sober today, man. Congrats to you. That's a huge accomplishment. 19 years. I've been just over 5.5. 19 years is amazing. I know how hard it was for 5.5 years. I can only imagine doing what you did for 19 years. That is insane, and that is one hell of a milestone for you. So congrats to you, brother. And why don't we give you a little bit of this for that? Where is it? There it is. Raiders. We're going to do that. And we're going to give you this. Give you this, too. Give as many noisemakers as I can, man. That's big news to you. What's up, Bueno? How you doing? You like the train one? See, you already did this part.
Stop it. Get some help.
You took care of that part. But you know what I say to 19 years? Damn! Let's see, all I need now is to be allowed to send them to Clark, Texas. No, I told you. You send me any texts like that this weekend, I'll turn my phone off. I'll put you on ignore permanently. What's up, Cool Kev? What's going on, my guy? What's up? Man, shout out to the 36 people in the chat right now. I appreciate everybody being here. This is probably one of the busiest Friday nights I've had in a long time, so I'm excited. I'm glad to see everybody here. I had no idea you had so many sounds. Oh, I got more. I got this one.
Emotional damage.
And I.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Hold on.
Shut your mouth, you thong wearing fatty. Shut your mouth, you thong wearing fatty.
I got a bunch of them. Kenneth, what's up, my guy? What's up, Kenneth? How you doing, buddy? How come you don't bust them out more? Because you know what? This show, I'm a little bit more relaxed when I do it, it seems like, because it's just me. When I'm on the other shows, it's more than, 2 or 3 people on. So it's tough for me to kind of squeeze those in. Like here, I can just stop talking, play them, and we're good. Just play sounds for the rest of the night. I mean, I could because I got some good ones on here. Let's see. This is one of my favorites.
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach.
No, because you can't take it away. It's in the system. Remember that. All right. So, rookie camp bucket number 2, the second bucket. These are the teams that are wrapping up tomorrow. These are the teams that started Thursday. So it was, what's today? 8th. So they were 7th, 8th, and 9th of May. So these are the teams that tomorrow will be their last day of the mini camps. So we've got the Bills, the Bengals, the Texans, the Colts, the Commanders, the Bears, the Vikings, Panthers, Saints, and 49ers. So they're all finishing up their mini camps tomorrow. So anyone after those camps are over, you'll probably see a bunch of press conferences for each respective teams, rookies coming out and talking. Then after that, you probably won't hear from them for a few more weeks unless something else happens. Who knows? But so that's the second group that are they're in bed already, probably waiting to get up the next morning and start their mini camp tomorrow. Finish their mini camp tomorrow. I should have sounds from Mrs. East Coast now. And did I have that one on here? I think I do. Hold on, Bobo, because I think I do. Hold on. I think I had that on this list. No, but I did read about it. It appears that he's going to be reporting to the Steelers, so he will be back in Pittsburgh. All right. So, and these are other mini camps that started today, and they'll end on Sunday. So this is the last group. So you've got the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets, Browns, Steelers, Jaguars, Broncos, Giants, Falcons, Buccaneers, Cardinals, and Rams. Those teams will be finishing up their mini camps on Sunday. And then that's pretty much it on the mini camps. Did anybody notice a couple of teams missing? I'm curious to see if anybody caught that. Did anybody catch any teams that were missing that I didn't call out? I'll put the banners back up, see if you guys can figure it out, because, number one, I wasn't shocked at one of them, to be honest with you, which is kind of weird. So, all right, here's the first group again. You see who's in this, okay? Here's the second group. And here's the third group. There's 2 teams missing. So the 2 teams that did not put a schedule on the NFL or in the NFL calendar doesn't mean that they necessarily didn't have camps, but there's no record of them, is the LA Chargers and the Detroit Lions. So neither one of them had a scheduled mini camp on the calendar. Now, does that mean that they didn't actually have a mini camp? I'm not sure, because it doesn't look like any information I could find even said anything as far as if they had a mini camp. So I look at it this way: if it's not on the NFL calendar, then they didn't have a mini camp. because if they did, it would be on there. So I think it's kind of funny that the Chargers shows to show you the Chargers just don't care. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? So here's my quick take on the mini camps. You know, what matters at rookie camp? You know, the rookie mini camp, because some fans act like everything matters. I'll give you a perfect example, and it's going to be a Raider example. How everybody got hyped after the first day of Mendoza taking snaps on the center, and I saw a Twitter post or an Instagram post saying, well, looks like we fixed the problem on the center. You're going to base that on one day of minicamp is what you're going to put out there with no pressure coming at him from a defense, not the full offensive line. It was just him in the center out there and snapping the ball to him. And we're going to say that it's fixed. I wouldn't predict any rookie coming in here if they have any problems prior to being fixed on day one. I don't care who they are. You can't sit here and say that, say Jeremiah Love has a bad habit of holding the ball the wrong way, and he does it, good on the first day of minicamp, and they're like, well, we fixed his ball carrying problem. You're going to base that on one day in minicamp? Come on. Come on. So, sometimes it's overhyped. I'm sorry. And I'm not just picking on the Mendoza. I just know the Mendoza one because I saw that come out in a Instagram post, and I'm like, really? Come on, guys. The truth is kind of somewhere in the middle on that. It's good that you're seeing that. Okay, well, this guy's progressing. He's at least gonna get familiar on how to do it. You see it. They're showing video of it, so you can see where these mini camp videos are showing that players are trying to acclimate themselves to the pro level, because that's the biggest thing is the transition. It's the transition from college football to the NFL. NFL's a totally different beast. Players are bigger, stronger, faster. The game is a lot more involved. Think about it. If there's anybody in coming from college to the NFL that has probably one of the biggest learning curves out there is wide receivers. And you know why? Because you're going to get 2 feet down in the NFL instead of just one. And if they're so used to playing with just 1 foot down, especially on those corner touchdown passes in the end zone, if you're still with that mindset, 1 foot, that's probably the biggest hump for them to get over, So, there's you definitely see teams or players at least learning somewhat in these mini camps. A lot of it is just getting together as the whole unit, intertwining with each other and getting to know the coaches on a different level, rather than just meeting them in the office or in their respective rooms, going over film and such. It's physically getting out in the field, these coaches talking to them, and and probably in some cases yelling at them, I'm sure, because they're not all going to come out and play nice just because you're rookies. They're going to be harder on you than anybody else pretty much sometimes. You pretty much you're watching how the player moves. You're watching how he learns. Does he have to be told multiple times before he finally gets it? Are coaches happy with the progress that they're seeing? I'm sure a lot of coaches aren't going to come right out and say the guy sucks, or he's got a really long way to go. Especially on your first, second, third rounders. They're not going to come out and shit talk them. I've never seen a coach come out and do that unless they were really bad, like a Jamarcus Russell type bad. Let's see. Did they lose minicamp for time violations? Oh, I don't know. It just wasn't on the schedule. So, like I said, if it's not on the NFL schedule, then I'm taking it that they didn't have it. That's how I'm looking at it. Lions is charged of their mini camps this time because they start training camp first for Hall of Fame. Oh, they're in the Hall of Fame game? I thought it was the Titans that were in the game. Why did I think it was the Titans? Did I mention that I despise you when you go tall screen only? Well, go watch it on Facebook or Twitter, X, because those are full view. Let's see. I do it this way so everybody's in one chat. That's my biggest thing. Everybody that watches on YouTube, they're all in one chat. So, I don't have somebody in the landscape in the chat, and then someone else is in a different chat. And at least now you're all in one chat and you can all talk to each other. So I'm thinking of you guys. Let's see. This year's Raiders are going to be exciting. Jeff, what's your head measurement? Mine is, I don't know. It's this is a flex back, so I don't know. And everything else I wear is snapback, so I don't buy fitted caps. Never been a fan of them. I'm trying to figure if your bucket hats would fit me. What bucket hats? I don't have any bucket hats. God damn it, you made me lose my train of thought. All right. So we're good with the mini camps now. So we're going to move on to basically player headlines. So we're actually doing good on time. I figured this would take about 45 minutes to 50 in that range. So first thing we're going to do is Breece Hall gets paid, basically. Was it a smart move by the Jets? I think so. He agreed to a 3-year, $45.7 million deal, extension deal. This puts him amongst the highest paid running backs in football now. They say the debate's obvious, but I don't know. Is this smart because the Jets are looking in one of, they're not locking in one of their best offensive players. So I think it was a smart move for them for sure. They obviously don't seem like they're going with a youth movement. That's for sure. I mean, you brought in Geno Smith as your quarterback. Is it risky still? I mean, it could be. He didn't have the best years last year, So hopefully we get some Jet fans in here tonight that call in when we do open up the phone lines. So the next one I wanted to cover is Cardinals Jeremiah Love. Basically, he made history. He signed a huge contract, supposedly. I haven't seen the full amount on it, but they did sign him now. I guess it was today or yesterday that they signed him. He's getting some big guaranteed money too. That's the thing, and that's something that you don't see with rookies. Let me see if I can find out the dollar amount on this. See if it's in here already. Let's see. Arizona. Hang on, give me a second, guys. I'm just going to look and see. So that would be... All right. So his... they don't have the full contract in here yet. It looks like 9.6 mil, I think they're saying. I wonder what Hernandez is. I mean, Mendoza. I keep saying Hernandez. So it would be 20 season. What do they lock him until? So that's what, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 30. That doesn't show. All right. So, yeah, I don't know his exact contract yet. It's not up. But it's guaranteed money. So, I mean, that's something you don't see with rookies usually. Let's see. Yeah, they definitely put it down as a historic because of the guaranteed money. That's the big thing. So it does open up a debate. So now anybody that hasn't signed yet, is that going to cause an issue? Last year, the problem we had was you had I forget what team it was, but it was a team that signed someone to a guaranteed contract, and it was a second rounder. And that kind of screwed up a lot of these second round guys that hadn't signed yet. But once the next one signed, they all just kind of fell like dominoes. Is this going to cause an issue this year again? I mean, I hope not. Yeah, but I think it's just the amount. I think is what they're doing. It doesn't say. Yeah, I mean they drafted him like he's going to be their number one. I mean, come on. I mean, Connor's still there, but he's not going to be their number one. Jets done anything with the O-line? I don't think so. Jeff, who's your under the radar rookie you got making the 53? I can tell you right now, it's not even a draft pick. I think Hemby's going to make the 53. I can't see him not making the 53. To be honest with you, I don't really know outside of him. I don't know a lot of those other players. I've heard people talk about them and everything, but I don't want to steal their takes just to steal a take. But I think seriously, Hemby's going to be running back 3. So either Collier or Lobby's going to be going, one of those two. And I think the only thing that might give Lobby an upper hand is the whole his special teams aspect. Provided he can stay hanging onto the ball. What's up, Rosetown? What's going on, man? Let's see. First round country is usually yeah. Do you think Love will be what the Cards hope? I think so. I seriously. Let's put it this way: if Love and Genty were in the same draft together, I'm taking Love all goddamn day long. Way over him. Absolutely not. I would take Jeremiah Love first over Genty any day of the week and twice on Sunday. Absolutely. I'll be honest, I just don't dig that particular Raider lid. What, this one? I like it. Oh, I thought you know what? I wanted this one tonight. Why did I take that one out? I did want this one. This is the one I got at the Hall of Fame. I don't even know why I grabbed that one. This is the one I wanted tonight. Here we go. I kind of wear that one sometimes because it's nice and soft and it's comfortable. I don't wear baseball hats other than here. It's the only time I wear Raider hats or baseball caps in general. I'm more of a winter beanie type guy. It's just too warm. I'm not wearing that today. Yeah, so there was Jeremiah Love. Speaking of the Cards, I wonder if we should snatch up James Conner to help Genty. Why? I don't. You remember Connor's coming off an ACL injury last year. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks, Surfer Bob. I won't wear anything, but I bought the trap cap myself. Really. Yeah, like it's got the pin on it too. Yeah, the wife bought it for me when we were at the Hall of Fame. I love this hat. So nice. Well, I got this one, and then we went to Mitchell and Ness when we went to the Raiders Philly game, and I bought a hat there in their store. That store is pretty cool. If you guys ever go to Philly, man, make sure you go to the Mitchell and Ness store because that's pretty damn cool. Youth movement and that's the other thing too. I mean, we think about it. We got a second-year running back in Genty. Now we brought in 2 rookies. One undrafted and one we drafted. Even Collier and Lobby, they're still their 3rd year in the league, right? So they're young. I don't want to bring someone in that's just had an ACL injury last year, knocked them out for the entire season, basically. Nah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That makes me want to throw it away now, Jason. Thanks. I'm kidding. I don't want Harris. See, I don't think we need to sign a veteran running back. Well, I don't know why people keep wanting to bring another running back in. I think we're going to be okay with what we have. I'm sorry. But why won't we any rating here with Oakland on it? I don't live in the past. Plus, I don't think I have anything. Well, I mean, I might have some old stuff like that, like too small for me to even wear anymore. Oakland stuff. I know I have some Oakland hats. I just can't find them. Can't find the box with all the damn hats. Connor would be number 2. No, I'm telling you, Connor would not be number 2. Absolutely not. I'm telling you, don't sleep on Washington, man. I'm telling you, Washington's going to be stealing carries from Genty. I'm sorry. But we could talk about that tomorrow night. Because we can sit here and talk about this all night with that. Yeah, we're good at running back. I don't think we need to add anymore. Seriously. So the next thing on here is the Broncos. They locked up their GM, George Patton. they gave him a new 5-year contract, so that took care of the Broncos with their front office. Because they believe in the direction they're going in. Even though they didn't have a first round, they didn't have a draft pick to third round, I think it was. It's like ridiculous. So, all right. So I am going to open up the phone lines. Someone tried calling already. All right, phone lines are now open. So make sure you call. It's right here, 401-830-9189. So it is open. And again, try and keep your phone calls football related. I don't want to hear about any foot issues with you or, what kind of hat should I buy? Well, no, you can ask hats. I don't care because I got a surprise for everybody later on. You can just try and keep it to 2 minutes. Drop your take. Just state the team that you rep, and we'll talk it up and give you a chance to give your take on your team if you got anything that you want to bring to the table. So phone lines are open. So here we go. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
Jeff, my good man, how the heavens are ya?
Kenneth, what's up, man? What's up?
Hey, I pulled up the contract on Jeremiah Love.
Yep.
It's 4 years, a little over 50 mil, fully guaranteed. 35 of it signing bonus and a 5th-year team option.
$35 million signing bonus for a rookie. Damn. But you know what? I think he's going to be worth it for him. I really do.
Yeah. And then the contract's 4 years, 53.9.
Okay.
And then
I don't know where that ranks amongst other running backs in the league. I don't even know what Genti's getting. I don't see.
And to that fan that said that it was the Lions and the Chargers, he's wrong. The Hall of Fame game is Arizona and Carolina.
Oh, I was wrong too. Then I was off. I don't know why it was Tennessee. I honestly.
Yeah, Arizona and Carolina.
You know what? You're right because of Luke Kuechly and Larry Fitzgerald. That's right. I should have known that. I was just there a couple of weeks ago. Man, shit was everywhere. That's right. Forgot about that. Yep.
The game will be Thursday, August the 6th.
Yeah, and then the induction ceremony is on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Thursday, from what I've heard, the NFL schedule will be released on a Thursday.
Yeah, next Thursday. So what's going to happen is next Wednesday at 9:00 in the morning on NFL Network on Good Morning Football, they're going to release all the international games. So they're going to give that schedule out for all the international games. There's 9 of them in total. Again, this year there's going to be a game in Paris, back in Brazil again, a Mexico game, Melbourne, Australia, Germany, UK. Am I missing one? Spain? Did I hear Spain? Is the other one I think it is?
It might be.
Yeah, but they'll come out with that tomorrow. So all the not tomorrow, on Wednesday morning, and then Thursday night at 8:00 Eastern time. Thursday night is when they'll release all the other the rest of the schedule, like everything that's going to take place here in the United States. Now that I'm sure there's going to be leaks that are going to pop out, or someone's going to find out ahead of time, what the schedule actually is. So it's almost sometimes pointless to even bother watching it, but we will be live on Thursday night for that. So not on this show, but Friday next week is when we're going to go into the schedule a little bit more in depth as far as like what everybody thinks is the best matchup. What do we think is probably one of the worst? Who takes the biggest hit travel wise? Because think about it, that international game in Australia, that's a big travel issue. I'm willing to bet they're going to have to schedule their bye week after that, both those teams, because that's a long flight there and a long flight home. That's rough.
From what I'm
flights.
I have the article right here. It said the league's already announced that San Fran and the Rams are going to be the one that's going to be in Melbourne.
Yeah, that I do know. Yes, yeah. I think that was like the only thing that they mentioned was a definite with those two.
It's going to be on the 10th, which is just after my birthday.
Yeah, because it's because Wednesday night is the 9th, and that game is going to be the Seahawks. That's going to be their banner game where they raise the banner. Thursday night is that game in Australia, and there's going to be a Friday night, I believe.
They did not say specifically who the opponent is for Seattle.
Yeah, they haven't really. It's tradition. It's been tradition for God knows how many years now, where whatever team wins the Super Bowl, they get the first game of the season. So it's either usually it's on Thursdays. This year it's going to be on a Wednesday.
From what I'm reading here in the article, it could be a rematch between Seattle and New England, but other possibilities is Chicago, KC, Dallas, and the Chargers.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Seahawks and the Chargers and watch the Seahawks beat the piss out of them.
And then the game that is going to be in Rio is Baltimore and Dallas. That'll be week 3 toward the end of September.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm looking at the article right here. And as far as that game in Australia, they said it's supposed to be airing in prime time in the U.S. at 8:35.
Yeah, just like a regular Thursday night game.
Yeah.
You say the same time frame as a Thursday night game.
But like I said, they haven't said exactly who the opponent would be, but they did mention that it would be either possibility of a rematch with New England or Chicago, KC, Dallas, or LA, the Chargers. Those were the teams that this article that I'm reading has mentioned.
Yeah. So it's gonna be. I think to think about it though, it's like nine international games. That's the most international games. Well, we've added countries too. We never played in Paris before. Never played in Australia. This is going to be the first time going to Australia, so that's going to be a big one. And I think just because it's the second game of the season, it's going to be a ratings hit because everybody's going to want to watch it. Just because football's back. Just like Wednesday night, that Wednesday night game is going to be a huge game for the TV ratings for sure. But it'll be interesting. Yeah. I know you're interested to see when your Texans play, like what dates you're playing, what teams, and next one Thursday.
There's 9 international games across 4 continents.
Yep.
You got games in Melbourne, which is 49ers Rams, Brazil, which is Dallas and the Ravens. You got one in France, Saints against an opponent to be named. The Jaguars are going to have Jaguars and the Commanders have the 2 in London.
Yeah, Jacksonville always gets.
Actually,
that's like Jacksonville's like probably one of the more popular teams in the UK, which is funny, but yeah.
Jacksonville gets 2 in London.
Yeah,
the other one. Yeah, the other one is Washington.
Okay.
The one in Germany is Detroit against an opponent to be named, and the one in Spain has Atlanta.
That's what it is. It was Spain. Okay.
All right. Madrid, Spain. Yeah. It has Atlanta, and then the one in Mexico City has San Fran.
Yeah, and I know a lot of Raider fans. I know some are hoping we play in Mexico, but a lot of the old school Bay Area residents that were Raider fans that still live up in that area I'm kind of hoping it's in Santa Clara because it's the first time that the Raiders are going anywhere near the Bay Area again, since we moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
Because we haven't played the 49ers at their field in a while. So it's been some time.
The NFL season usually kicks off around the time of my birthday.
What's your birthday?
September 6th.
Yeah, my son's is September 12th.
Because, like I said, usually the NFL will usually kick off the Thursday before my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But this year they're kicking off after my birthday.
Yeah, but you know what? The Jaguars are popular in London. There's usually a shit ton of Jaguar fans there. So they're the only team that gets 2 games there. Because last year, they did the same thing, too. They played 2 games back-to-back over there. 2 different stadiums. They didn't play in the same. They played one in Wembley and one, I forget what the other one was.
One of them is indeed in Wembley, and the other one is in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because both Washington and Jacksonville will be playing in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, they haven't announced the actual opponent yet, but we should find that out by next week.
All right. Well, Kenneth, thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate you. Always come in.
I know you got to go. You got other callers. I'm going to go ahead and hang up. I don't want to take any more of your time.
All right. You have a good night, and I'll see you next week for sure, brother. Still there. Okay. So, Spain, 6 hours ahead. Could you imagine the jet lag after 4 days? Well, that, and I don't think that's as bad, to be honest with you. It's from the East Coast to there. It's only like about a 6-hour flight. The worst part is the flight to Australia. That's got to be a bitch of a flight. I couldn't even imagine that. God bless Afakasi. And although, he did it, and he stayed here for like about a month. I guess that's not bad. But think about it. The NFL, it's the 2 teams going there. So it's the Rams and I forget who it was. But so let's just say the Rams, right? So they leave. So their game is on Thursday night. They're probably going to have to leave LA like Saturday because, again, it takes 24 hours to fly. They may leave on Friday for all we know. That's a long ass flight, Yeah, I'm sure Silver Smoke. That's a shitty ass flight. What's up, Raider Pete? What's going on, man? Hope the Raiders don't travel to the Browns. We are. We're going to. Are we going to Cleveland? We're playing in Cleveland. Hope the Raiders don't travel to Browns, Jets, Pats, Chiefs, or Broncos past week 10. Never mind. I get you. Why not? Oh, yeah, colder weather. Yeah, I get it. Totally get it. So don't forget, folks, the phone lines are open, 401-830-9189. So if you want to call in, call in. I am going to, let me bring this up real quick. So I can't because we're on the phone. The phone line's live. All right, you know what? Let's do this. I'm going to do this real quick. I'm going to share this tab instead. So, these dropped today. So we now have No Huddle hats for this show. So there's nothing on the back. I didn't put anything on the back. I just wanted a real basic, simple design on this. So this is the logo on the hat. I actually kind of like the logo now. And they do come in different colors because this show is representative of all 32 teams in the NFL. So we've got the straight all black. We've got it in a blue. We've got it in a black with the gray. We've got it in all red. Black with the red highlights. All gray. And then for those that are brave, comes in all white too. So it's $22.99 plus shipping for the hat. So it's now available. So if somebody wants one of these, it's in my merchandise store. The link is in the description for the store itself, and it is right here too. So it's 401 RaderJeffShop.fourthwall.com. So the No Huddle hats are going for $22.99 and plus shipping. So let me put this back in. There we go. Okay. So new hats dropped. What's up, Tokyo Raider? What's going on, my guy? We dropped new merchandise last night for the Raiders Coast to Coast show. It's a hat and a shirt bundle. That is going for $49.99 for the whole bundle. And if you were to buy those hats separately, it would cost you $59.98. So we're doing it as a bundle for $49.99 for the next week. So next Thursday night, by the end of the show next Thursday night, the bundle will be closed, and you'd have to buy them separately. So if you want to get them now. They're on that same site. You'll see everything that I've got there. I've got my 401 Raider merchandise. I've got a Raiders Coast to Coast hat and shirt, and it's got the Coast to Coast logo on the back and the No Huddle hat. So we've got a few different options on there for merchandise. So make sure you guys check it out. We've already had a few sales go through, so I appreciate those that have bought. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. Jeff, I got to know, why are you against or down on Mendoza? Because I didn't want him, because I wanted to trade the picks. I wanted to really build this roster instead of count on one guy. You know, when we could have turned that into multiple first round picks and really done some damage. You know, so that's why I didn't. That was the main reason why I didn't want him. And when I've seen some game film on him, and not highlights, like physically, I just don't think he's all that in the bag of chips. I'm sorry. I'm supporting him. He's here. I have to, because I keep saying this over and over. If he fails, we fail. So I don't want to see us fail. I want us to be successful. The last thing I want is for us to continue this level of sucking at winning games. You know, I'm done. I'm tired of it. It's been a long time. That's why I'm kind of just go with the flow this season. I'm not going to get worked up if we lose a lot. If we win, great, bonus. If we lose a lot, I really, it's not going to affect me this year. I'm not going to lose my shit because it's a learning curve. You're talking about new coaches, damn near almost a whole brand new roster on this team right now. You know, it's a whole new offensive scheme. There's so many different new things with this organization this season that you can't help but, if you think we're going to make the playoffs, and, you know, some people talking Super Bowl is just absolutely ludicrous, then fine, that's your take. But when you set that expectation so high and then we finish down here somewhere, I don't want to hear you crying. You know, don't be bitching about firing a coach or whatever. You set the expectation high. The team didn't come out and say we're going to win this. The players didn't come out and say we were going to win all these games and everything. You said it. Or, you know, you whoever you may be, you're the ones that are saying that, not me. I'm not putting that kind of pressure on this organization this year. Yeah, let's see. Do the shirts come in medium? I go to emphasize my muscles. You know what I mean? Yes, they do. What's up, Oscar? What's going on, man? They dropped my case and sealed it today. Ah, nice. I like the name Sin City Raiders, to be honest. I'm not from Oakland or L.A., so I could care less where the Raiders play. I do think since we've moved to Vegas, we have lost home field. Oh, we definitely have. You know, and if everything goes the way that we're anticipating with the direction this team's been in for the last few months, I think we could eventually get back to that. It's still going to be a long haul because of where we're located. It's still a major destination, you know, travel-wise, and it's the number one tourist destination in the world. And we're only bringing in more sports teams, so it's going to still bring in, you know, you've got a professional baseball team there now. The Athletics play there, or whatever their name's going to be. You got the WNBA, you got the Vegas Knights, You're going to have an NBA team there in a matter of a few years. So it's going to become a major sports hub city, if you think about it. There's going to be so many professional sports teams that play in that city now that you're going to attract fans from other teams, meaning other NFL teams too, because if they follow a certain hockey team and their team happens to be playing against the Vegas Knights and it's the same weekend their favorite football team is playing, they can nail two things at one shot. They could possibly go to both games, and then now you add basketball to that. And then, baseball. Baseball doesn't really, it's a very small window where NFL games and baseball kind of fall at the same time. It's like a really tiny window of regular season, but then the playoffs, but how successful have the A's been where they've made the playoffs consistently, so. Let's see. Jeff, I'm a season ticket holder for the Hoosiers, and he is legit, brother. He can make all the throws. He has the brains like Gluck, Manning. Okay. I mean, I get it. I get the people that are so hype on him. I definitely understand, especially if if you're a fan of Indiana. I mean, of course you're going to want to see him go on and be successful. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. But so no chance we do what Commanders did. No, I'm not saying there's not a chance. I mean, anything can happen. Should we expect it? Hell no. If it happens, just go along for the ride and enjoy it. But comes next year, we better hope we do the same damn thing again next year too. Because if you don't do it the following year, then what are we doing here? If we take a step back the following year, it's like, come on. Provided no major guys get hurt, I can see that happening too. Let's see. I think our team is 10 times better than people think. We have legit weapons on offense. Yeah, I mean, on paper, I think we're absolutely better than last year. But until proven otherwise, our team is still the 2025 team. We're still a 3-14 team. We are. We haven't played a game yet, so right now we have 0 wins. Last year we won 3, so that's the bar for me. Hit that 3, and then we'll talk. But I'm not putting total number of wins on how many wins we think we should have this year. My thing is strictly just wait and see what happens, And that's why when somebody says, "Oh, we got a way better offensive," but do we? We don't know yet. We can't sit here and say we do. We don't know how Linderbaum's going to be. We know what he was like in Baltimore under that offense. How's he going to be here? I don't know. How's JPJ going to be this year compared to last year? I don't know. What's Glaze going to do? The same thing. I don't know. You don't know how any of these guys are going to be. So we can sit here and say, oh, he's going to be great. He's going to be good. He's going to be awesome. We don't know that. Nobody does. Unless you got a time travel machine and you can go forward 8 months and say, okay, we won 9 games already. Okay. All right. Show me the proof first. And then we'll go from there. Oh, what's up, Lucky? What's going on, man? You know what it is? I'm not trying to be so optimistic and so overhyped. That's what it is for me. I'm just trying to, after biting the apple last year and falling for Pete's mind games that he was going with us. I'm here to win games. I see us winning 10 games. Bullshit. I bit that apple last year. I'm not doing it this year. I'm taking a totally different approach. I'm just gonna where the pieces lay, they lay. Let's see what happens. This is what we have on the roster. This is what we're going to work with. If we pick up something after teams cut certain players that we think is an asset to the team, at least, the GM and the coaches do, and we bring them in and they're successful, then beautiful. We made a right move. Other than that, what we have on this roster now, we're still last year's team, even with all the new additions, because we have no idea how any of these guys can be. Because don't forget, new head coach, new offensive play scheme. We're switching the defense up a little bit. New defensive coordinator on top of that. A first-time offensive coordinator, along with a first-time head coach. So you got a lot of news. New this, new that, new players. older players, and well, not older players, but veterans coming in from other teams. The one benefit we have is you've got now two linebackers that played together out of college in college, so they're just probably still familiar with each other and how they do things. Uh, even the two rookies we drafted from Arizona, they're like best of friends. So their communication is going to be different. They're going to have that just look at each other type, confidence in each other. Like when you work with somebody for so long, you don't even have to say anything. And I've had that before, like being on the fire department. I just look at somebody and I can just kind of give them that eye and they know what I'm thinking, just because you're on that same wavelength with them. Some teams aren't going to get it. We've got that in the secondary. So how does that work? So that's a bonus. The two linebackers, that's a bonus. Everybody else is coming from all different aspects. Even the guys we brought from Indiana. I mean, Henby, yes, all right. Henby worked closer with Mendoza, but what about Williams? How often was he used in Indiana? Some people are talking about him being like this great wide receiver out there or whatever. Then why was he a UDFA? If he was that good, he would have been drafted. Even Henby, I'm surprised Henby didn't get drafted. And Henby was the number one back there, correct? Wasn't he listed as RB1, even with as good as Washington? He had better stats than Washington, if I'm not mistaken. We don't have a stud at wide receiver. We have depth at other positions. Yeah, I'm just not doing it. I can't put a number on it. What's up, Raiders Zach? People need to get over the Raiders winning a bunch of games in playoffs. This is a rebuild. This is possible. It is possible to make the playoffs. Not sure, not likely though. 2027, and I agree. 2027, I'll be a little bit more. Okay, show me something now. I just want to see progression this year. I want to see, the team gelling together, the maturity level. I want to see where we're improving on the field versus what we saw last year. Even if we don't win a shit ton of games, number one, I don't want to see us get shut out at all. If we don't get shut out once, I'm happy. All right, first of all. And if we win games, the only thing I ask for, if we only win 3 games, let it be 3 within our division against one of each of those teams. So we're not. So at least if we're 500 in our division, that's a bonus for me because you got 3 really good coaches, 3 really good teams in our division with us. AFC West is still a very, very competitive division. And if people think that KC is going to come out of the gate slow, and KC is going to come out on fire again, I'm telling you, they had their one bad year last year. The year before wasn't that great. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl, but the Eagles kicked their ass, thank God. But that was their defense. Their offense was horrible that season. He had nothing. Now he's getting weapons, so we'll see what happens. I love that picture, man. I saw that the other day too. It's Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel's face on the old Pat the Patriot. She's bent over in front of him. That's great. I love it. Thinking about investing in Ace tickets to resale or sell, so to fund my Raider tickets. There you go. What's up, Raider Troy? Oh my God, I did it again. Mascot Troy, what's going on, man? How you doing, buddy? Oh, I have faith, trust me, but I'm not. No, I'm not putting a high level on it. I can't. I probably have to resell 8 baseball games to afford one, right? And that's the thing too. The tickets are going to go up, even though we sucked last year. It's just because of Fernando's going to do it. That's what's going to happen. He's going to draw the asses in the seats for Raider fans. What sucks for me is the New England tickets are going to go up because they made it to the Super Bowl, even though they were blown out in it. So I already know that the tickets I'm going to get for the Raiders-Patriots game, they're going to probably be ridiculous, or I'm going to have to make sure I'm sitting way the fuck up near the top so I can get the cheapest tickets possible. But I think our defense is way better now. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing. But until season starts, week 1, then I'll talk to me then. Talk to me at that point. Week 1 through 3, that's where the team's still knocking off the rust and, teams fully not gelled together. Usually by the 3rd week, especially with all these new additions and everything, by week 3, we should be pretty confident with our starting 5 offensive linemen, like who they're definitely going to be. That should be locked down by the end of the end of preseason, not like last year. If we go through that again this year, doom and gloom again. That's how I felt, because that was horrible last year. That first preseason game destroyed it for me. We looked like shit. Pete Carroll said what he said on Monday in his press conference, and from that point on, he lost me for the season. And he proved it, because all through the rest of the season, that's all he did. They just kept playing with everybody's head and moving guys around. It was bullshit. What teams do you think improved the most from the draft, and why? I think the Jets did, to be honest with you. You give them those weapons that they drafted, and with Harbaugh there, I think the Jets. I'm sorry, not Harbaugh. That's the Giants. Still, the Jets getting 3 first-round picks was huge. The Giants, though, I think the Giants kind of did themselves a favor too. With Harbaugh there, and it being such a young team, and then bringing in some younger talent too. Again, yeah, I think the Giants did. The Chiefs pulling off 2 first-round picks, that pissed me off to no end. I think they got a little bit better too. We did, obviously, but that still remains to be seen. I mean, a lot of teams, a lot of these analysts are giving us an A, and you take Mendoza out of that, do we get an A? I don't think so. Maybe a B plus, at the most an A minus, if we're lucky. But I would be more in the B range. And again, they give us an A because we took Mendoza, because that was the no-brainer. If we would have done something different, would that have changed that grade? Probably. Trying to think. Cleveland just did Cleveland things again. They're still gonna be fighting for a top draft pick next year, as usual. Then they'll probably take another quarterback. Well, they're gonna take a quarterback then. If God forbid you were in charge of the Patriots, would you fire Vrabel? That's a tough question, because until someone comes out and says, hey, they had this relationship, right now, the only thing you're seeing, unless somebody said something already and I missed it, it's not like he was actually having a sexual affair with her. Right now, you've only seen them at hotels, in the pool, hot tub, whatever. You're out in the public at that point. So what is he really doing? If there's infidelity in it, then hell yeah. But this is also Bob Kraft we're talking about too. Look at the shit he did. So would I fire him? Yeah, probably, to be honest with you. You just lost the Super Bowl, okay? And got embarrassed, actually, too, to be honest with you. Never probably even should have been there. You were looked upon as one of the best available head coaches to, be hired last year. You go to the Patriots, which everybody knew you were going there as soon as Tennessee let him go. So you knew that was happening. Because I was all on board with him coming here, but as soon as they shit-canned Jared Mayo, and our game hadn't even started yet that day, I said, well, there goes us getting Vrabel. And they're like, why? He's going to go to New England. He's not going anywhere else. Bob Kraft was just waiting for him to get shit-canned by Tennessee. Jared Mayo was just a holdover until Vrabel was free. He's so well respected prior to this, obviously, in New England. The fans over here freaking love him. And the fact that in his but in his first year as the head coach, takes him to the Super Bowl. I mean, that's a tough one. You're going to have some fans around here that are going to be like, oh, no, why should we fire him? And then you're going to have some that are going to be like, fire his ass. I know a few friends that don't want him here after that. So, it is what it is. I get it. We say the same shit every year, and I respect it. I'll keep my mouth shut. Oh yeah, definitely, and that's why it's like I'm not falling into the hype until it's proven to me on the field. Let's see, if you were a pro wrestler, you'd be Brock. My God, any team can look good on paper until they shit the bed. We see the same thing every year. Look good in practice, and yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, oh, you looked really good in practice, or you looked good in 7-on-7s. No, don't, no, that. You want to talk about game experience and how they look on the field at that point. But now you got me. But I totally understand. I hope we start Kirk Cousins, and I hope he leads us to a 500 season and a mid-first round draft pick. Then we go 2027 with Mendoza and a legit number 1 wide receiver. Let's see. I do believe our floor is 4 to 5 wins with 8 to 9 win ceiling, of course. Hope I'm wrong. And we win 11, just saying, to stay on the planet Earth. See, but that's the thing, though. You're already putting us at that, 8 to 9. You're flirting with possibly making a playoff push. 1 or 2 games in the upside direction. Now we're pushing playoffs. We're not ready for a playoff run. Do you want to be a one and done in the playoffs like we have been for the last 20-something years? No, I want to see sustained success. You know what I mean? Like improvement from last year to this season, and then next year even more improvement, and possibly even sniffing the edge of, hey, we're not dead last in our division. We're within this striking distance of possibly getting a playoff spot in 2027, but we don't make it. And then in 2028, you want to see vast improvement at that point to where we're sailing now. The only downside is by the time we get to that, Brock Bowers is going to be towards the end of his. JPJ is, these guys are going to be a lot of years in already. At that point, Ashton Genty's going to be 4th year in. So there's going to be, if we're not showing a consistent improvement, what's going to happen when these guys that were taken in the first round, like Brock and Genty, when it comes time, are they gonna want to stay here? So if the team doesn't exercise their 5th year option, do these guys want to re-sign with us? You kind of hope they do because you invested all this time and that number 1 pick in that first round pick in these guys. So they're going to be a little bit further on in the years. They'll be at that tail end of their contract where you're going to have to make a decision. I don't want to see Brock leave after his, if we deny his 4th year or we take him on his 5th year and then comes the end of the 5th year, he just sails out. Yeah, that was a great pick for us for his rookie year. After that, it was all, I mean, you got to face it. These guys are here. These players are in this league to win. And if we're not winning and consistently improving to the point where we are winning on a more consistent basis, you're going to lose some of these guys. If we get 5 wins within the first 11 weeks, then we can say that's progress. I would agree with that. We don't need the season to be over by mid-October. Yeah, and that's the worst part. Yep. Let's see. Absolutely. See, Malik Benson's going to be a kick returner, a punt returner. Might be all rookies as return specialists. I don't know enough about Malik. I know I'm hearing a lot of people are kind of 50-50 on him. I honestly don't know. What's up, Mike? What's going on? Yeah, I mean, and I was at the game, and I could still see the mistakes out there and kind of how rough we kind of did look out there that day. 2 weeks later, if we would have played the Patriots, they would have destroyed us. We just caught them at the right time because they didn't look that good. Neither teams looked that great. If this keeps up, I'm going to get a Ray Detroit patch. I'm sorry, brother. I keep saying it. I know. I don't mean to. I think Seattle and Cleveland drafted very well. Yeah, because Cleveland went back-to-back wide receivers in the first, which is amazing. I guess the big question there still is, what are they doing at quarterback, man? I mean, is Shador it? They're going to go a different route this year. Is Deshaun Watson still there? It's like that team is just, it just seems they can never get out of that funk that they're in. Which is good for you being a Steelers fan, Troy. I mean, you want to see them horrible. It's probably a 7-8 win team in 26, and that's just fine. Oh, Hobo, you're unbelievable. Jeff Burkcraft, yeah. Let's see, I gotta catch up here. Apparently, there's a pic from a few years ago where she's pregnant and they are together. Yeah, it was like 5 years ago or something. Imagine Vrabel was the Raiders coach. I'm kind of glad he wasn't now. I wouldn't fire him. Let him coach this team. And that's just it. We don't need the drama, man. Let him stay there. Fire him and trade Drake May. I would have been all for that before we drafted Mendoza. You kidding me? Browns had a good draft. Yeah, I forgot about that. Wide receivers with them. What's up, Jack? What's going on, my guy? Raiders getting a lot of love from media, but they got to chill on comparisons of Mendoza to Tom Brady. You got to let the season play. Exactly. And I agree 100% with that. How did you hit on your mock drafts? I haven't even looked at them, Jack. We were going to do that last night, but if anybody missed the show last night, we had Brian Fowler on with Nate and I on Raiders Coast to Coast. So anybody in here that's a fan of any of the other 31 teams in the NFL, meaning if you're not a Raider fan, because there are a lot of Raider fans in here tonight, go to my channel and go to the show from last night, Raiders Coast to Coast. We had Brian Fowler on, and we kind of learned a little bit of like how he became a Raider fan and everything. And then we got into talking about his Guinness record. But man, he was only going to be on for an hour. He was on here for 2 hours with us last night. And I said, I know you only were going to be on for an hour. He goes, no, this has been great. This has been fun. I enjoyed it. So we had some really good questions from him. And then we had the chat put questions in, and we were asking him the chat questions. And the funny thing is, the questions that the chat was asking wasn't even stuff that we had written down for our questions that we were asking them. And I'm glad that some of them put it in there. Like, there were questions about the best stadium you went to, the best foods, and, all these other things that you guys in the chat thought of that in all honesty, I didn't even think of those questions. I was trying to do more of like try and keep it more towards the record and everything. I didn't want to go that route. I didn't even think of those type of questions. And you guys putting that stuff in the chat last night was just, you hit a home run with it, because he went off on some of those, talking a while about, how, answering them. So it was a real good take on his part too. So yeah, he was so cool to do an interview with. So I'm glad we were finally able to set that up last night, because that was a fire show last night, man. That was absolutely so much. I haven't had that much fun doing a show in a long time, interviewing and such. And I was so hyped all during the day waiting for that show to start. I was actually on the verge of a little bit of nerves before the show started, because I was like, God, I hope this goes good, because I didn't want to do anything to embarrass the guy either, So, but yeah, it was really, really good. So. What's up, Raider Mike? What's going on? Is a music video star now, not focused on football. Oh, Jesus Christ. I can only imagine what that must be like, that video. Let's see. Dixon, what's up, Dixon? What's going on, man? Yeah, it was Bueno. You had a couple of really good questions in there last night, too. So there were some really, really good questions last night. Brian is such a great guy. I mean, I talked to him in person now a few different times. The New England game, the Philly game, at the draft. He's so down to earth, and you saw it last night in his interview with us. So that was a lot of fun last night, man. Yeah, Leo put it. I think it was Leo. Maybe it was Nate put it in our chat for the Raider Connection, and I'm like, what the hell is this shit? I'm like, all right, first of all, learn how to get better at playing on the field before you start your rap career. I mean, You suck at rapping. Improve the play on the field first. Forget the music shit. Jesus Christ. That was so bad. That was so bad. Oh my god, it's so horrible. I couldn't even listen to it. I just started listening to it and I'm like, I can't listen to this. This shit's annoying. Don't forget, folks, phone lines are open. 401-830-9189. Same phone number for tomorrow night. Jason and I will be on Raider Nation Voices. So this is where all the Raider fans get their chance to come in, call, talk up your team, talk up whatever player you want to talk about. We just have some fun. Oh wow, I got 2 phone calls coming in. All right, let's see. You're on Raider Nate. Oh my god. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
Hey man, it's Cardinal Jeff.
All right, hang on a second.
How's it going, bro?
Hang on. Oh, they hung up. All right, I had another call coming in too. I was going to put you on hold, answer them, and then put them on hold. What's up, Hobo?
Hey, so I'll talk about the Cards for a minute here, man. You think Jeremiah Love is you said you think he's going to be everything that they're hoping he's going to be?
Oh God, yeah. Are you kidding me?
That's
in my opinion, I think he was possibly number 1 or 2 pick overall in this draft. To be honest with you.
Well, the problem is that the Cards' offensive line isn't much better than our offensive line.
I don't think it'll matter with him.
So you think he's like the next Barry or something?
Well, no, I didn't say that. Nobody's the next Barry Sanders. That's definitely not it.
So I mean, it's very rare that a running back, no matter how good they are, actually changes a team's fortunes. I mean, just look at Barry. The Lions still sucked even with him.
Oh well, hang on. Let me answer this call. Put them on hold. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. I'm going to put you on hold for 1 moment, okay?
You good?
Okay. All right, Hobo, you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I was saying, it's very rare that a running back, even a great running back, changes a team's fortune. I mean, look at Barry and look at the Lions still sucked even with Barry. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, a running back almost never changes a team's fortunes, no matter how good the running back happens to be. So I was really kind of confused by the Cardinals pick there, man. I don't know what you thought, but like,
I wasn't. I that's where I thought he was going to go, to be honest with you.
But like, he can't change their fortunes. That's the thing. No running back can.
Why can't he?
Because even Barry couldn't change the Lions' fortunes.
So, but you think Mendoza can change ours?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not super as sold on Mendoza as some other Raider fans.
Player can. I think as a running back, he has more of a chance to improve that team, to be honest with you. I really do. Because you got to remember, a quarterback needs so much more to go right for him to be successful. Running back just needs that. Once he gets the ball in his hand, he just needs that one little space. That's all he needs. So even if the offensive line is average at best, he could take it, and he's gone. You know, go back and watch some of those Notre Dame games. This kid has got some serious talent. This kid is phenomenal. I told you, I would take him over Genty in a heartbeat. Without a doubt. Just like I would have taken Bijan over Genty in a heartbeat.
So do you think that the Cards win 2 or 3 more games this year because of him?
It's possible. I mean, who knows? I mean,
they were what?
I look at every team in the NFL as I do our team, basically. Until proven otherwise, every team is no better than what they were last year. So in my mind, the Seahawks will be the Super Bowl champions again until proven otherwise. And it's true. I mean, they're the defending champs until they're not in the playoffs. Plain and simple.
But you said there's no doubt that Barry is the GOAT when it comes to running backs, right?
Oh, there's nobody. As far as I'm concerned, as great as Walter Payton was, Barry Sanders was still hands down the best running back I've ever seen in my life.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But like I said, even as great as he was, and I agree with you 100%. Barry is the best running back ever. But even as great as he was, the Lions still sucked with him.
It did. And again, that he had this talent that players, no other running back really had, to be honest with you. He had that finesse. I mean, I've seen him run in a running play where he lost his cleat and he still ran for a touchdown.
Mm.
You know, I mean, Barry Sanders is amazing running back. You know, could Emmitt Smith have done the same thing with that offensive line? Maybe, maybe not. Could Barry Sanders have absolutely destroyed?
The only one who could have.
But could Barry
Sanders
have destroyed the running back record if he was in Dallas with that offensive line? Oh, hell yeah. He would have ran for 30,000. He would have had multiple 2,000 seasons. That's how good back then.
The only running back I can think of that even compares to Barry is those Priest Holmes when he had those 2 or 3 really good years.
Yeah.
I think Priest doesn't have the overall longevity, but he had 2 or 3 years that compare to Barry. I think you don't think so?
Nope. Absolutely.
Man, Priest was a beast, brother. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all I really got to say. I just wanted to really gauge your opinion of Jeremiah Love and what you think he's going to help change the Cardinals' fortunes and all that.
Great for that team, absolutely. So I do have another call on hold, so I do need to switch over. So I think
go ahead, brother.
You have a good night, brother.
You too.
Yep. You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State your name and the team you rep.
Raiders all day. Oscar Q.
Hey
man. Hey, what up, man? Hey, what up, Jeff? First time caller. Glad to call. Hey, man. You really feel like it's the same old Raiders this year? I'm not trying to get all hyped up, but man, you don't think we could go and punch the Broncos in the mouth maybe once, maybe punch the Chiefs in the mouth maybe once? You don't.
I told you if we won only 3 games, I want it to be one against the Chargers, the Broncos, and the Chiefs. So that way, we don't have this over our head that we haven't won a game against so and so. Because right now, the only one that we have beaten recently is the Chiefs. So the Broncos own a streak over us, and so do the Chargers. So the Chiefs right now, we own the streak over them. We won the last game of the season. So
bringing up
3 games and it's against each one of those 3 teams, I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, shit, I'll take it too. You take them as they come, but you really don't think our line's going to be a little decent? I know we already mentioned our stud of a center, but you don't think JPJ is going to get in there too?
I think they're going to be better. I mean, right now we look better on paper than what we
were. Yeah, we say the same shit every year.
Yeah,
shit, but on paper.
Until they get on the field and prove me wrong or prove different, then they're no better than what they were last year at this moment as we're talking right now. That offensive line is no better than what our whole team is better than 3-14 last year right now.
Okay. Yeah, I understand you. I see your perspective. And I respect that.
I'm not biting that apple and saying, yeah, we're gonna win 10 games.
We're gonna do some shit, yeah.
I can't do that.
Okay. I'm just a little optimistic with Genty being his second year entering the league. I think I think he's seen what it's all about. You got the jitters out, so to speak, but I feel like he's gonna be a little productive because you've seen what the ranking we were with that line last year, and he still produced after tackle yards or after he's been touched, he still produced. With that being said, but I feel like this second year is going to be just a little notch above. And if you've been following him on social media, he seems bugged out. He's ready to go. To go.
I hope so. He should be. I mean, because not for nothing, he might possibly have another running back nipping at his heels too. So, I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if Mike Washington steals some carries from him this season. He's a different style running back.
He is. He gives me fucking a fuck. Going blank right now. He gives me the fucking my bad, guys.
Yeah, good.
I've been drinking, fucking getting it on. Goddamn. McFadden. You give me McFadden vibes. My bad. McFadden. God damn it. You gotta go for it. God damn it.
He runs a little more upright, I guess you would say. But he's faster than Genty.
Is he?
Yeah,
I believe it.
4-3. I think it was a 4-3 flat or a 4-3-3 40. Genty's a 4-4 guy.
Arkansas produces some guys.
Yeah, he's got. It's just, you know what it is. He was on such a shitty team last year, so he really didn't get that full recognition. But he's still a damn good running back. That's why I was shocked we got him when we did. To be honest with you, I didn't think he would do that.
Hey, when it was his time to hold the ball, he did something with it though.
Yeah, I mean,
for a very limited time. So hey,
but he had 3 fumbles last year. Genty had 2, so it's not like Washington had 10 fumbles and Genty had 2. That's a big difference.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking 1 fumble difference. You know, a 3 to a 2. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. That's kind of fixable. That can be coachable. Hopefully.
You know, I'm sort of stoked about that kid coming in here, but I know Arkansas produces some cats. You know, where did Josh JJ come from? Did he come from Arkansas?
Who?
JJ, Josh Jacobs, back in our guy, our old guy.
Wasn't he?
I thought he's from Arkansas, Alabama. Yeah, that's what I get. He was with the Crimson Tide. He was with the Crimson Tide. No, you're correct. Sorry, sometimes, man, I get a little flashbacks to the cat. He's doing good. Once a Raider is always a Raider, right?
Hell yeah, man.
Last but not least, man, I tried to talk you guys' ear off.
All
With
right.
our defense being set with Max Crosby, how do you feel about the whole situation? Or do you feel like he's, bound for blood, chip on his shoulder, so to speak?
He better be.
I fucking hope so.
After how many years?
He got fucking slapped in his face.
He better start showing something. He's had 1 year where he had 14 sacks, and the closest he's came since that is 12, and he's averaging 10 sacks a season. That's not elite in my book. I'm sorry. That's not an defensive end. No.
Fuck, not in the day and age. Come on, man.
If he's
it's 2025, 2026.
Again, if he get 10, okay, that means he's not getting back there enough, which means they're double teaming him, which they're not sometimes. But then someone else on this team should have the same or maybe even more sacks than him, because someone else should be getting in there.
And that's why we bailed out, and that's why we threw Tyree Wilson's ass to the Saints. That's why we got rid of his ass.
Tyree Wilson should have been cut.
He should have been a long time ago, right?
God,
Fucking guy.
And that's the biggest thing I like about not having Tyree here this year, is we don't have to listen to fans going, "Oh, this could be his year."
Yeah, go give me a break. Give me a break.
Go away.
No, I 100% agree with you, Jeff. Give me a freaking break.
Elite to me is like TJ Watt, obviously Myles Garrett. I mean, Jesus.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, well, the Browns don't win either. Yeah, but at least he's still. You can't blame their
fucking shows up.
You know what I mean? He's doing his part. Is Max really fully doing his part out there?
Fuck.
If you're going to put him in the elite, and like some people have him in like the top 3 to 5 in that range, I don't have him that high. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't see. Oh, he's got so many tackles for loss. Great. He's got so many.
Great. Yeah.
Every season, and turn those QB pressures into sacks.
Fucking sacks. Do something with that.
Yeah.
Right.
That come from.
Right. Okay,
so
Jeff.
When we initially traded him to Baltimore, I was excited. Because we're getting
2 first-round drill. Yeah, you remember those days of 2 first-round picks? Oh, fuck, things were looking up.
Well, when you look at it this way, right? So you take a guy. You get the guy that you got in the 4th round 8 years ago, okay? And now 8 years into the league, his past injury history, the games he's missed, and the team is still giving you 2 first-round picks for him, a 14 this year, and remains to be seen what next year's draft pick was going to be. If we still had that 14th pick, if that trade still went through, I would have been fully on board with Mendoza from day one at that point, because that number 14 pick, we could have done anything we wanted with that 14th pick. We could have traded back
the lineman
further, gained an additional first-round pick and a second-round pick. Like we could have gotten a later first-round pick and gained an additional second, maybe a third-rounder. You could have moved so much and grabbed so many picks. We would have had players in the top 40 to 50 players, and we could have really done some serious rebuild.
We already said our goodbyes. We're already going through it. And then next thing you know, the fucking guy just shows up at the doorstep. I get it. I'm happy he's back. He's one of the last Oakland Raiders. I get it. I'm happy he is with us too. But with that being said, we were sort of looking towards that deal, as you mentioned, 2 first-round picks. Come on now, you can't go wrong with that. But I'm happy the guy's back. I really hope he has a chip on his shoulder this year because, I mean, you don't see shit like that every day in the NFL. And with that being said, it's they got to do it to our Raiders. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, give me a fucking break.
Yep.
Give me a fucking break. Ah, shit.
Yeah, and now he's putting more songs out now too. That one he put out.
Oh, you heard that?
Oh, that was horrible.
Turn that shit up.
That's
Turn that shit up.
The things I said in the chat when Nate put it in there, I'm like, dude, stick to getting better on the field and forget the rap and shit. Wait till
Fuck the rapping. Why didn't you on the field running around?
Damn, man.
Yeah, I get it. It's the Vegas, man. It's the Vegas lifestyle. You see it. It's flashy, big chains. You know how it is. But we're still from a background of Oakland Raiders, of hard blue collared workers.
You know,
I get it.
There's some songs I've heard other people do, and I kind of like, you kind of bop a little bit.
A little catchy. Yeah, a little catchy.
He laughing at the whole idea. I'm like,
oh, shit.
I can't take this video seriously.
Oh, shit. I agree. Get on the field. Get on the field, Max. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, you need something to do in the off season, right?
Yeah.
You got to have hobbies, man. We got to have hobbies.
I got another.
That's one of them.
In, man. I appreciate you. You have a wonderful
Hey,
night.
thank you, Jeff. You too, man. Appreciate you. Have a good night. Peace, brother.
You're on No Huddle with Jeff. State the TV rep your name.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Nav, man. What's going on?
Shit, you knew my number.
No, I know your voice.
I was trying to mess with you. Damn it.
Anyway, you say, hey, I know who it is.
Well, I got you.
No, because I'm looking at my phone now. No, your phone number it came over on my phone, but not your name. So you must have changed your number.
No, right? So I got 2 questions. One,
yeah.
At this point in time, who is our day one starter at quarterback? That's one. Okay. And then next one is this. So is our offensive line going to be good enough to support a rookie quarterback to actually be able to learn to be a quarterback in the NFL speed? Is that what it is? Or are we wait and type thing?
I'm going to answer this part 2 first. Do I think the offensive line is going to be better this year to support that? Possibly, but not right away, which is why unless something completely goes off in the preseason and the offensive line gels right away and Mendoza just outshines Kirk Cousins, then it won't obviously be Kirk Cousins unless they really are adamant about sitting Mendoza for a while and really let him get fully acclimated. But I seriously think it's going to be Kirk Cousins for majority of this season, unless he really screws up, gets injured, and then you're going to see Mendoza come out there. The thing is, what's going to happen is if Kirk Cousins goes in the shitter right away, fans are going to be screaming for Mendoza. And now the coaches and everybody's in the organization is going to be put in a tough spot because is he really ready to go out there, or are we just going to bow out to the fans and say, all right, let's give them what they want? And what if it's not what we expected type of thing? And now this kid crashes and burns, but might not all be his fault. If the offensive line is not ready, then I guess at this point, keep Kirk Cousins out. Let Kirk Cousins take all the beatings.
Let him get killed.
Exactly.
Let him get killed.
Let him take bumps and bruises.
1.3 million. Let him get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're not trying to win a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah.
We're really not. You know what I mean?
What's going on? Yeah, I agree with Raider Resistance here. It's going to be Kirk. I mean, Kirk, I think, is going to stop from the get-go. I think that's the right thing to do, to be honest. Yeah, I know at one point I was like, all right, we're using the number 1 pick. We're starting him right away. But in hindsight, you want to keep him protected for the future. So make sure he's fully ready to put him out there, before we go.
In my opinion, it was a genius move. Genius move, veteran minimum.
Yeah.
For coach. For crying out loud. Let him get killed. Let him get his ass beat. You know what I mean? Until it's all squared away. You know what I mean?
Yep, definitely.
I mean, genius move. That was one of the best moves all year long.
I definitely don't disagree with that. That's for sure. I was all for coming in here in the first place because of. I looked at it as at first that he's going to be the guy that's going to be this. This is obviously before the draft because at that point we were all still kind of wondering what was really going to happen, you know. But you know what? We'll see what happens at this point. I know I wasn't on the corner for Mendoza. I was never on that side. I always wanted to trade out. But again, he's here. I have to support that because if he sucks, we're going to continue to be shitty. And I want him to be successful because if he's successful, the team, the fans, everybody's going to be successful and happy. These shows will be completely different because for the last couple of years since I've been doing this, these shows have not been fun when you come to talking about the team because we're always talking about the negatives about the team because of how bad we are. I want to start talking about the good stuff. Like when we start a show off, it's like, did you watch that game last night? Did you see how this went? You know, you want to have these exciting shows where you're talking good about the team instead of sitting there like, oh, I don't know. They didn't look good last week, so let's see what happens. Like, no. You know, I want to have as few of those type of shows as possible during the season, you know?
It's one of those where it's like, I hope I'm wrong. That deal. You know what I mean? I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On certain stuff, I want to be wrong. But I will tell you what, I want you to book this for me. JPJ and Linderbaum side by side is going to be vicious shit. That's going to be vicious.
I really do hope so. I am actually very worried about JPJ. I really am. I think he's my biggest dark horse in this whole thing because I don't know what we're going to get this year from him. You know, did he get over that hump with the way that they messed with his head last season with this coaching staff? You know, because what they did to him last year was absolutely ridiculous. And Glaze, I'm not over Glaze yet. Like I'm not ready to put Glaze aside. I'm giving him a pass for last year because the coaching was so bad. I mean, you're talking about the whole offensive line regress, not just one guy. You know, if one guy regresses, then that's on him. But when the whole offensive line is that bad, you know, they kind of get a pass last year because they weren't being coached. And it's now been proven that they weren't coached. You know?
And that's the crazy part. The crazy part is we don't really know what we have.
No. And you're right, too.
So,
like,
I mean,
Rodgers should have been in the starting lineup way sooner.
So, I mean, we're going to find out real soon.
We should find out for a preseason game. When they put the starting five out there, we see how well they are and who they are.
Yeah.
You know,
we're going to know that immediately.
Oh, God, yeah. I knew exactly how that last season was going to be that first preseason game. I watched that first preseason game, and I watched that offensive line, and I'm like, this offense, and I said it on the show like 2 days later. I said, this offensive line is going to be horrible all season. We are in for a long-ass season.
And that's going to answer.
I was 100% right on that. That offensive line was shit all season. We had like maybe one, maybe two decent games.
Right, yeah. And that's going to answer my first question. Who's the starter? If the offensive line is not right, it's definitely Kirk.
Oh, God, yeah.
Let's kill him for 1.3 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
He's at the tail end of his career anyway, so if he gets one good bang and he's out for a while,
done.
All right.
And then we'll just bring the freaking UDFA in instead and not even put Fernando in there. You know what I mean?
Or if AOC's still here, you throw him in there too. Let him take.
I don't know what. That's the next question. What's going to happen there?
I don't know.
That's a crazy question.
I mean, again, this is going to come out in training camp. You know, who really is the number 2 and number 3? Because if Kirk starts right now, Kirk's number 1 list. You know, they've got
but I will tell you
list
what,
number 2 right now.
AOC could be a QB2 for anybody.
Oh, we could trade him. I could see us trade.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, and he's worth something to do that.
Backup. I'd take him as a backup. You know, but right now with Kirk here and then, you know, Mendoza's listed as the number 2 QB and AOC's number 3.
Yeah.
The only reason you would want to keep AOC is because if Kirk's gone before that June 5th of next year, so we don't have to pay him that additional money. Well, like not the additional, but you know, his contract is then locked in for the 5 years or whatever it is.
17 million.
You know, so you keep AOC for a backup for Mendoza, or do we go a different route at that point?
Well, then we have to also pay AOC then because he's now.
I mean, right now, for me, the least of my worries is the 3rd and 4th quarterbacks at this point. I want to see the other positions get locked down. You know.
No, totally with you. And I don't want to eat up your entire show, bro.
No, you're cool. It's almost time for me to get off anyway. We've been on for almost 2 hours. I've actually been on for 2 hours now.
But it's one of those where I was kind of, there's a lot of questions, but damn, I'm pretty damn excited.
I am. I mean, I'm excited for the season, obviously, because, you know, a lot of fresh new blood in this team, you know, whether it be rookies or free agents that came in here. Whole new coach.
We didn't see a lot of rookies last year.
Huh?
So that's going to be, I'm sure that's going to be a bullet point for freaking Kubiak. Let's get these dudes on the field. I want to see what they got. You know, that's what we didn't see.
No.
This dude was trying to win every week with a team that couldn't win.
No.
You
I mean, when every week comes and you have a different starting 5 offensive linemen every week, that's not good.
Yes. That's not good.
That's not good.
Plug them in there and let them freaking roll.
Yeah.
First team reps. You guys. First team reps all week.
Yep.
First team reps next week. You know what I mean? You can't continue to do that.
No.
Rotational offensive line does not work. You know?
No.
So that's
the only time you want to have to bring in different offensive linemen is when someone's out injured.
Or they tapped their head and said, dude, I'm just beat. I need help.
Or special teams, when you're going to punt, you run different guys out there on the offensive line or when you go for a field goal.
Exactly.
That starting 5 shouldn't change throughout the season or throughout the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, bro, this is different. I feel a little bit different than I felt in like.
I think we all do. I think we all do. There's a lot of optimism for what we think is going to happen this year. Because again, you know, like Oscar just said, it's a lot of new. It's a lot of new of everything. Coaches, you know, staff members, scouting departments different. I mean, everything is pretty much different except for Mark Davis.
Everything's been
Mark Davis is like the longest staple on his team right now. Everybody else is kind of fairly fresh and new.
But everything's been done just a little smarter over the last 18 months. Has it not?
I think it's a lot of it's because Mark Davis took more of a back seat to everything, and
he goes, "I'm a business. Spytech, you got it."
Yeah, he's letting Spytech do his job. Brady is in charge of football operations, so Brady has last say basically. So nobody goes to Mark for anything, is what it comes down to, which is good.
Right.
Because at least the guy's admitted that he's not a football guy, so he doesn't know the sport like his dad did. You know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense. What's up, 805?
The thing about this, to be honest with you, that's probably the best way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let football people do football shit, and when they say, "Hey, I need you to write me a check," he just writes the check. You know?
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing. All right, man. I'm not going to take up the rest of your show, brother.
All right, man. Thanks for calling.
2 quick questions, but it is what it is. I'm in the middle of moving, so I'm moving to Tennessee. I'm selling this house. I'm getting ready to leave tomorrow, load it up, and then I'm buying a house in Indiana.
Yeah.
I don't know, 35 minutes from Bloomington. Weird. Anyway, but so that's your close on May 18th, and then I still have this. So yeah, I'm busier than a one-legged man staying on an ice pad. So yeah, busy. All right. Anyway, I'll turn you loose, Jeff. Man, always love you. Always love your content.
Thanks,
Stuff
man.
like
I appreciate that.
Hey man, I'll be more active once I've got everything.
Yeah, I knew
away.
I knew you were in the middle of the whole move process and everything. So I know I haven't seen you on much and haven't been in much of the chat. So I figured that. So hey, life comes and you got to do what you do, brother. You know that.
Yeah, just let everyone know in the chat I'm alive.
Yeah,
I am alive.
that man's alive. He's on the phone right now with me. So that's proof that we're still here, folks.
Yeah, 93 Nab Man still alive. For some of you, maybe that's not a good thing. For most of you, so, all right, man. Take care, man. Great show.
All right, thanks, brother. You take care.
All right, take care.
All right, bye. I don't need that. I don't know what the hell that was. Well, we pretty much covered everything we needed to cover tonight. Had some really good phone calls. I thank everybody that did call in. About ready to get out of here. So just another reminder here. Where'd it go? Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. So I'm going to shut the phone line down because I want to put this up so anybody that hasn't seen it yet can see it. So give me 1 second. Share the screen. There it is. There it is. And boom. All right, so add that to the stage. So just a reminder, the new merchandise dropped today for this show. So we unveiled last night on Raiders Coast to Coast the bundle that Nate and I are running for that show. It's $49.99 for the hat and the shirt for the Coast to Coast show. For the No Huddle, I dropped this hat today. So it comes in multiple colors because this is an NFL-based show where I cover all NFL news and talk NFL. So it does come in multiple colors. So these are your color choices. You got all black, all blue. You got the gray, the black with the gray. You got all red. You got the black and the red. I kind of like that one. And all gray. And like I said earlier, for those that are brave that wear white, you got an all white one too. And these are snapbacks. So they're all snapbacks. There's no printing on the back. These are just, that's why they're only going for $22.99. It's just a single logo on the front. So it's a new logo I came up with for this show. So those hats are available. So it's $29.99 plus shipping. So you can go to that website right there, that link. It's 401 Raider Jeff shop.4wall.com. You'll see all the merchandise. I've got my 401 Raider brand on a hat. Got it on a long sleeve, a hoodie, a t-shirt, a white sleeveless. They don't have black. And we have the Coast to Coast show hat and shirt bundle. You can buy them separate, but it's like $59. So right now we're running the 1 week promo on the hat and shirt bundle for Coast to Coast, which will end when we go off the air next Thursday night on our show. So if you want that merch, make sure you guys go and grab it. And thank you to those that have purchased already. I appreciate that. So if anybody that does buy any of the merchandise, make sure you take a picture of you with it on, send it to me on my Instagram, or reach out to me any way you want to get it to me. Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. At 805, all my other hats are all strictly just all black, but for this one, for this show, because you can see the logo right up here in this corner, right there, that No Huddle logo. I wanted to do multicolors because, again, I branch out to all 32 teams in the league, and not everybody wears just plain black. You know, they may want, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you may want the blue one. If you're a Texans fan, you may want that black and red one, which is actually kind of sharp looking. I like the black and red, to be honest with you. So, but What's up, Jaw Raider? What's going on? What's up, Alex? What's going on? Don't believe those AI slot video. Raiders not get Tyreek Hill. I haven't even seen those, and I'm glad I haven't. Yes, thank you, D-Menace. Make sure you guys hit that sub button, hit the notification, ring the little bell there, and get the thumbs up on the show. Appreciate everything. Thanks, Dave. I appreciate you. I may have to talk to you soon. I may have some ideas on something I want to do. I might want to shorten the intro on this up. I don't know yet. Although at the start of this thing, a lot of people were saying they like the intro. So, I may not. So that's it. So just a reminder, next Friday, we're going to kind of do like a show based on just the schedule. So we'll go over the schedule once it, because it gets released the night before. But because, again, this show, the No Huddle show, no timeouts, no excuses, this is based on all 32 teams in the NFL. So we're going to go over what we think is the best matchups for the season, what looks like to be the worst games. Anybody that's in the chat, what you think about your team schedule. Where does your bye week fall? What international games is your team playing in? Where is it? What does that mean to you as far as, thinking about the travel time for the team, depending on where they got to play, how many primetime games. So there's a lot we can cover next Friday night. So next Friday is going to be pretty much strictly just going through the schedule and just kind of picking out what we think are the best. So I'm going to try and get some visuals that I can put up on the screen, and we'll kind of follow along. But again, the phone lines will be fully open for that show too. So if you got a question about your schedule or a comment, make sure you guys get ready to, to phone it in. And don't forget, that phone number is good throughout the entire week. Feel free to, by all means, call in at any point during the week. You can leave a voicemail. I haven't gotten any voicemails in the last couple of weeks, but if you call this number, 401-830-9189, if you call starting now until, tomorrow night, I'll be able to see the voicemails. But I will listen to the voicemails at the start of the show every week, whether it be a Friday night or a Saturday night, to listen to what everybody, and we'll play them live on the air. So call in, talk about whatever. I don't care. It doesn't have to be football. You want to talk about whatever, go for it. So again, phone line's always available. You can call at any time, day or night. Doesn't matter. You can call at 3 a.m. Won't affect me because it'll ring in the system. I won't even hear it. So won't bother me. Computer is nowhere near my bed. Oh, what's up, SoCal? Sal, what's going on? Sal's in here. Yeah, I'll let you know, Dave, for sure. Let's see. Raider just bought a hat Raider shirt in my old hometown, Pomona. And man, one of the hat I wanted was $55 to $60. Yeah, right. No thanks. What the fuck? So much. Yeah, some of the hats are ridiculously overpriced. Like the one that Nate and I have up is $24.99 because it's got the logo and it's got a lettering on the back above the snap. On my 401 hat, it's $29.99 because I got the logo, I got printing on the side and printing on the back. The one for tonight's show, the No Huddle, is just the logo on the front, and that's why that's like $22.99. So I priced it so they're affordable. And they're nice hats. I mean, it's basically the same style hat I have on now. So it's they're nice hats. They're not cheapies. And I really put a lot of time into making sure the images were as sharp as possible because I wanted the logo to look good on there for all the different things we're doing. Gonna be working on one for Raider Nation Voices next. That's the next one. So I'm dropping and adding stuff little by little. So that store's going to be pretty loaded with stuff if anybody wants anything. It helps out the channel, helps cover the StreamYard. That's pretty much what I'm looking for it to do, is to help defer some of the costs that we incur for some of the stuff we do. There's a lot involved with doing this. A lot of background stuff that you don't see, between websites and apps and everything else. So, well, on that note, folks, I think we're going to get out of here. We're on just a little over 2 hours. So again, next Friday night we're going to be covering all the schedule information. Let's see, what was the last comment here? Yeah, they were nice hats, but too high of a price. But I like the design. If it had, it had Florey's Stabler gem and a pin with red. Oh, okay, cool. That's different. I'm trying to think. I think this one was $45 at the Hall of Fame, and the one that I got at Mitchell and Ness was on sale, and I think that one was 35. I think it was. I think it was $35, something like that. Yeah, hats aren't cheap, man. They're so goddamn expensive. So, all right. So we're gonna get out of here tonight, folks. Thank you everybody for popping in here tonight. Appreciate all the phone calls that we got. Thank you to my moderators for helping out tonight too and help keeping the chat nice and clean. And like I always say, everybody, stay safe. Go Raiders. We'll be back on tomorrow night, Raider Nation Voices with myself and Jason Downs. 10 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Pacific. Till next time, everybody. Stay safe. Go Raiders.